Why have we wings, sister, if not to fly?
Why do we have feet, if not to tread upon the soil?
When it comes to the righteous angel Kayle, we must also mention the fallen angel Morgana. The two were twin sisters, but how did they end up on such opposite paths? To understand this, we must start with their parents. They were born during the Rune Wars, and to escape the chaos and save their people, a young couple chose to climb Mount Targon. According to legend, those who reach the summit gain immense power, a source of strength for characters like Tarek and Pantheon. The journey was perilous, but the couple succeeded in reaching the top. Then, an incredible event occurred. The pregnant wife, Missandra, was suddenly enveloped in golden light, and a sword appeared in her hand. She had been chosen by the celestial beings and became the embodiment of the righteous celestial. Becoming a celestial not only granted her immeasurable power, but also affected her personality based on the nature of the celestial she embodied. Some celestials are friendly and allow freedom, like the Twilight Celestial, while others, like the Righteous Celestial, have a fierce temperament that gradually erodes the humanity of their hosts. After returning from Mount Targon, Missandra soon gave birth to twin daughters, with Kayle arriving just a moment before Morgana. Perhaps because their mother was a celestial, the two children were extraordinary from birth. The elder glimmered with golden light, while the younger carried a hint of deep darkness. Although the children had just been born, Missandra barely paid them any attention. As the embodiment of the righteous celestial, her primary concern was maintaining peace in the Runelands. Over time, their father, Ziharam, noticed that Missandra's humanity was fading. She was becoming more like an emotionless judgment machine. Concerned for his daughter's safety, Ziharam fled with them one day when Missandra left again, seeking refuge from magic and war in a place that would later become known as the Kingdom of Demacia. In this sanctuary, he raised his two daughters, and as they grew older, their personalities began to diverge dramatically. Kayle closely resembled her mother. She believed that laws existed to protect everyone, and all must strictly adhere to them or face punishment. In contrast, Morgana was the complete opposite. Where Kayle was rational, Morgana was deeply emotional. She often felt anxious about her family's distrust of the new refugees and understood the pain of being an outcast. She frequently wandered the wilds, helping expelled mages and others deemed dangerous. Upon learning her mother's story, she saw her father's heartbreak from having strayed from Missandra, and a sense of resentment began to grow within her. She also feared that she and Kayle might inherit some of their mother's celestial power and gradually lose their humanity. However, fate took an unexpected turn. One day, a sword fell from the sky, splitting into two as it struck the ground. And at the same moment, wings sprouted from the sisters' shoulders. Their celestial powers had indeed awakened. Watching his daughters grasp the halves of the sword, Ziharam wept uncontrollably. He feared losing them just as he had lost his wife. After obtaining the divine sword, Kayle wholeheartedly answered the call. She summoned the Judicators to enforce the law, zealously hunting down all evil, embodying the essence of her celestial mother. Morgana, however, despised her newfound power, but felt powerless to change her fate, silently clinging to her sanity. Regardless, with their new strength, the sisters could protect Demacia better. Gradually, they became revered figures in the kingdom. Yet their conflict only intensified, ultimately culminating in a devastating confrontation. Kayle's righteous fire rained down, igniting the city, and Morgana soared into the sky to engage her sister in battle. Their fierce duel wreaked havoc on the city below, collapsing buildings under the force of their clash. Just as the tide of battle was about to turn, Morgana heard her father's cries. Unable to continue fighting, she abandoned her mother's sword and flew to his side, only to find it was too late. He had already died. Morgana gently cradled her father, heartbroken, hating the power she had inherited. She turned to Kayle and asked, "Does your punishment for evil include our father? Is he guilty for stealing his daughters away from their mother?" Kayle did not answer. Instead, she took Morgana's sword and flew into the sky, never looking back. This is why, in the game, Kayle wields two swords at her maximum level. With their father gone, Her sister departed, and a mother she had never known, Morgana felt that all the tragedies were caused by celestial power. From that moment on, her wings became an unbearable mark of her suffering. She tried to sever them, but couldn't find a weapon strong enough. Instead, she bound her wings with chains, determined to walk the earth on foot and experience human suffering.
Do not run from your shadow, Kayle.
I am the light!
Meanwhile, Kayle left Demacia for Mount Targon, deciding to cast aside mortal emotions in her quest to emulate her mother and fulfill her destiny as the embodiment of the righteous Celestial. Although Morgana remained in Demacia, she gradually faded from public view after these events, leaving only the legend of the Veiled Lady behind. For centuries, Demacian mages believed the Veiled Lady was the mother of all mages, unaware that she was the infamous fallen angel Morgana. You might be curious about what the Celestials truly are and the origins of Mount Targon. Next, let's delve into the story of Mount Targon. Creating videos isn't easy. Subscribing to my channel is my greatest motivation.